There he is. He's on the hunt. Looks like he hasn't been pooped yet this morning. Good morning, everybody. My name's Bill. It's Pirate Solutions Forestry, and that is Danny. He is on the hunt for chipmunks now. Today is a dreaded day. It's cleanup day. I have to edge, stack, and sticker a ton of barn board that I have lying around that I've kind of been ignoring. And it's my own fault because here at our sawmill, we primarily custom cut orders for customers. That's pretty much what we do. So everything that I have lying around for the most part is a byproduct of that, offcuts and trash and things like that. So it ends up being secondary to my job. But now that I'm slow, and I found out why, and I'm going to tell you about that. Now that I'm slow, I'm going to turn some of this into sellable product and blow a bunch of it out, for like 50 cents a board foot, try to get rid of a bunch of it. The biggest problem with doing that is when you stack and sticker everything, unless you're like Mike Morgan at Outdoors with the Morgans, and you have perfect 8'1", every single board's cut down to match identical, and the lifts are all perfect, and the sizes are all similar, people tend to want to go through the pile. So you kind of have to tell them, look, if you go through the pile, put it back together, which they're never going to do a good job. So it's constant back and forth, whether I just want to keep the stuff and use it myself and not even deal with the headache of having people come out and go through the piles, or whether I'm going to end up eventually someday with a whole crap pile of land cleared, and to where I can separate everything into 1x6 by 8s, 1x6 by 10s, 1x6 by 12s, 1x8 by 10s, 1x8, and that creates a big problem. One of the reasons why I only cut for customers is because it would take so much room for me to do that, that it would cause a problem here where I am. I would have to clear my lot next door. I would have to put up a pole barn, the whole 9 yards, just to stack stuff. Kind of waiting down the road for a commercial spot, which is coming up in the near future. And then everything that I cut, not only will I be cutting customer orders, but I'll be cutting stock as well to have at my commercial place. So we're gonna go through this stuff little by little by little. I'll probably time lapse you guys for a while so you can kind of see what I have lying around. Sometimes is got to be edged one at a time. It's not super simple, or it would already have been done. But the reason that I have been slow is that one of my posts on Facebook Marketplace got flagged for being similar to another one. Now I put up a bunch of where a local sawmill custom cut orders, take pictures of what I have and put it up, and I link it to local yard sale sites. So you can link it to 20 local yard sale sites. I do that also. And I was wondering why usually when I put one up, I get nonstop messages. So really, if I sleep for 8 hours, for 16 hours a day, I'm getting messages on Messenger nonstop. Do you have this? Do you have that? Can you cut me this? Can you cut me that? And that really slowed down. Well, one of my posts got flagged, and they weren't going to Marketplace. They were still showing on the yard sale sites, but they weren't showing on Marketplace. And that killed my impressions, I think is the right word. So I went through this morning, I deleted everything that I had that wasn't all my ads that were duplicates, and I put one up, and we're going to see if I get an initial reaction from that. So that's what's going on. We do have some friends coming over for breakfast. I'm not sure how that's going to affect everything. My friend Dr. Alani Lawrence, who works for the New York Giants, she's coming with her son, and Kate went down to pick up breakfast and stuff like that. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe we'll even get them on camera. Funny little side note, my cousin Brendan Prophet, who I grew up with, our families were very, very close, my dad and his brother and their family. Brendan works for the Giants too. And Lonnie didn't even know that. She came up for Christmas one year, and I'm like, so have you bumped into my cousin Brendan? Brendan works as the head of the scouting department. And he's worked for many NFL teams going back 25 years, and he's younger than me. And she's like, no, who's your cousin? And I said to her, Brendan Prophet, the guy that's running the draft. It was draft time when they were here. And she gets to go away during the draft, where Brendan, that's his busy time. And she's like, his office is right down the hallway from me. I didn't know he was your cousin. I said, you never even asked, you never put two and two together. Our last names were the same. She's like, oh my God, I never even knew that. I said, well, when you go in, call him the beeper, because that's what we used to call him when he was a little kid. And like, nobody knows that. Everybody calls him BP, which is what most people called me when I was a kid too. But in the family, we called him the beeper when he was little. And nobody knows that. So she called him that. He got a kick out of it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And I'm going to get at it. It is hot. It's Africa hot out today. Real high humidity. It's not super high temperature, but real high humidity. And I'm really sweating through it. And it's probably only 80 degrees. So let's get at it. So I got a little, it's an 8-foot skid sitting here. I stacked some of my older stuff on the bottom. And now I'm working on the newer stuff, the more perfect stuff to go on top of it. I'm cutting down stickers as I go out of my pile. What I do is when I'm edging stuff like I am today, I edge everything in a consistent 7/8 by 7/8, and anything that I can use for stickers that comes out really good, if I could drop down a couple times and say go 13 and then go to 12 and then go to 10 instead of just cutting it at 10 if I'm in the mood. And I get a bunch of stickers, I throw them in that pile over there, and I'm dragging them out and cutting them as I go. So this is kind of the little bunk that I'm working with, and the first thing I want to do is go through all the pine that's up on my sawhorses, not the cedar here. I'm going to blow that on Marketplace. The last like 4 rows there are all cedar. But I want to get all the pine off the bench, and then my next pile is going to be that one. And anything that I have lying around that's 8 foot long, that can be a board, everything from 1x4 to 1x12 is going to go onto that bunk as high as I can stack it up. And then that will go up in the woods in the shade. So that's just a little preview, and we're going to get at cutting it. I do have a 4x4 backing up my cut. One of the ones that we cut last night with all the ants in it. Guess we're just going to go. Well, as you can see, I have a different shirt on and a different hat because I sweated right through the other two. And Dr. Lawrence and the kids showed up, so we went in, had a little something to eat and a little chat. I left them in there. Danny is crazy to come back outside. Oh, he does not like flies. He is, oh, did you get it? He does not like flies. You can kind of see the process. It's kind of a boring, piece together process. The one thing that I've really never figured out, unless you're not trying to get the most out of every board, which kind of most of the time I am, is batch cutting them together. It's one thing when you're using manual clamps, but with the hydraulic clamp, it's kind of a pain because you're always moving it in and out, and you have to almost have a manual clamp to clamp it just to keep it in place while you move the hydraulic clamp in for your final clamping. But on some of the bigger ones, if you're trying to get the most out of them, just for me, maybe I'm just not smart enough, but batch cutting them in a big, huge batch, it just never works out right. It always ends up being more work than it's worth. I know you guys have probably noticed that sometimes I take more cuts than I have to, and that's just because I'm trying to get more stickers. So instead of just going, let's say I'm making a 1x8, instead of making my final cut at 8, I might go 10, 9, 8 and get two batches of stickers out of it. So that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to keep working on this pile for the rest of the afternoon, or a little bit this afternoon. I want to get the video up. I know there wasn't a lot of critical milling content in that video. If you have any questions about anything, please just put it in the comments below and I will answer you back 100%. But other than that, like, share, subscribe. If you're looking to buy something from Norwood, use my affiliate link in the description below. All you have to do is copy and paste it to your browser. It takes you right to Norwood and somehow counts that you watched Bill Profit's video. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to get inside, get Danny inside so he can cool off, and start editing this so I can get it up. And for now, for Danny and myself, Hard Solutions out.